Porter Endowment Fund from 2016, totaling 112,000 Ghana cedis. And then we still owe on a loan taken from APSU 84 Investment Fund, totaling 81,354 Ghana cedis. We have presented some notes at the bottom there to explain some of the figures that you find up. And this now brings us to our statement of financial position on page 28. And so you will find that from our year groups, the various payments we receive on the bus project, the annual subscription, sale of seminars, and then feed day levy. And same goes for all the other organs of the union, regional branches, absolute sites, external branches. And then silver collection from last year's Congress, 1,055 cedis. And then souvenir sales, 7,600. Sale of reference books, 73,000. Loans contracted, 116,000. Altogether, the summary is that we have, the summary is item 1II of that statement, 2017 actual income. So 28,000 for the bus and truck levies, 33,250 from the annual subscriptions, 103,260 from the sale of souvenirs, and then other incomes, 117,000. Those are essentially the loans. And then fees day levies, all together bringing us to 282,970. We have at the bottom details of the various souvenirs as we have in terms of the reducing balance to date. Then we have our bank balances as of 28th of February 2018. For our CD account, as at that date, we have 48,000 Ghana cedis. And then for the dollar account, we have 148 US dollar. With this, we come to the end of our income and expenditure statement and the financial position. I don't know, with the permission of Chairman, can we go straight to the budget? All right. So we move to our budget. On page 29, we have a breakdown of projected subscriptions that we intend to receive from our various organs. Essentially, what we do is that all year groups whose members are known to have attained about 60 years of age, we take them off payment of subscriptions. And so for this year 2018, we are going to have dues from 1976 down to 2012. 2012 also because they are deemed to have finished their undergraduate program and finished national service. And so now they begin to pay dues. All the others are still deemed to be in school, and so they don't pay dues. And so it's from 1976, 2012, and that would give us 70,000 Ghana cedis. Please, our brothers at the back, the 3 regional branches, we are expecting to receive 1,000 Ghana cedis each. For the 3 external branches, 2,000 Ghana cedis each. And then for our 4 campus chapters, UPSA exempted, we are expecting to receive 500 cedis each, totaling 2,000. And so altogether, we are expecting to receive subscriptions for 2018, 81,000 Ghana cedis. When we move to page 30 and 31, we have indicated a breakdown of the schedule of payments and indebtedness of all our organs, all the year groups, all the branches, so that each of us know what we have paid and what we owe. A few of our year groups are having credit. A few of them are current, are waiting to pay 2018. And we still have some who are owing. And some of the figures are a bit staggering. And so we need to take the necessary steps to deal with them. For 2018, beginning 1st April 2018, we expect to spend for the administration of the Secretariat, rent, utility bills, and the totals are there. We intend to spend for rent 2,640 cedis. For utilities, spend 6,120. For salary of the administration officer, 14,000 cedis. That's for 1 year. Stationery, 1,000 cedis thereabout. Transportation and fuel, 1,200. And then for meetings, for NEC meetings, a total of about 1,750. Committee meetings, 1,076, 1,070. Organization of APSU election. For next year, we are supposed to have elections for national officers. And so 800 cities. APSU Congress, 2,500 Ghana cedis. And then for projects, programs and activities, we expect Amalak review team. There is a budget line of 900 cedis. Induction of the college 2018 finalists sometime in April or May. And we have a budget of 2,500. Working visits to the regions, branches and chapters. We have 7,000 cedis. Commemoration of the Feast of St. Augustine. We have, that is the 7,000 cedis. I made an error. So commemoration of Feast of St. Augustine, 7,000. Production of new souvenirs, 6,000. Publicity advertisements, 11,000. It's 13,000. Publicity adverts, 38,000. Miscellaneous expenditure, 6,000. So altogether, our recurrent budget or expenses will be 68,600 thereabout. And then for our capital expenditure, we are expecting that in the coming year, we will be able to pay off for the bus and the truck project, totaling 100,000 cedis. And we'll still have the budget line for maintenance of the tube, 8,000 cedis if necessary. And then we'll have repayment of loan for the reference book printing, essentially to APSU 84 investment fund, 81,000 cedis. Minor refurbishment of the Secretariat, 3,500 cedis. So the capex will come to 192,000 cedis, 854. So for 2018, that is our budget. Recurrent 68,660, capital 192,854, totaling 261,514,000 cedis. Now we are expecting that we'll receive these monies from these sources. The college bus levies, we are expecting to receive 240,000 cedis, and the spread is indicated there. For the year groups, branches, chapters, we expect to receive a minimum of 45,000 cedis. For the sale of the souvenirs, we expect to raise 4,000 cedis. Proceeds from the auction copies of the reference book. A number of us bought the reference book at various prices at the launch, and some are still outstanding. So we are expecting to pick up the difference of that money, which is 31,500 Ghana cedis. And then from the proceeds of the college reference, we are expecting that by the end of the year we would have sold 100 copies, and that will bring us a total of, it's not 100,000, we are going to sell 1,000 copies, which will give us something in the region of 100,000, if I'm right. Then the other donations to expect, 27,000, bringing our receipts to a total of 448,000 Ghana cedis. When we net it, we are expecting at the end of next year to have an excess receipts over income totaling 186,000 cedis. And by that, we would have cleared all our debts on our books, and then we will have some meaningful amount of money at the time this team will hand over hopefully next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
We have an accountant. My name is Kwame Asante, year group 93. I don't mind if you call me Titika. So my first question is, do we have auditors? Because the way this has been presented is more management. You're working to as opposed to auditing. And for a session like this, which is Congress, he's the chairman of my 3A. I'm here with the next. So I would expect that for Congress, we would have audited accounts. It makes for easy reading. So that's the next one. Second point is, when you look at the budgeted numbers and the actual, the variances are to be huge. I would recommend that we institute a forecasting schedule. So we have a full year budget, but maybe at the end of quarter one, if we feel we might not hit, deliver budget, let's revise the numbers so it becomes closer to actual, right? It helps for management and better planning. The third is let me go to the income sources. So we've got monies from, just a minute. Now, loans to Dr. Ernesto said, has been outstanding since 2015. I think we have to settle it, right? Let's agree to pay this off. We shouldn't have this in our books. The amount is not too much. There's a difference between income and expenditure, so we'll see how much money in the bank. Let's pay Dr. Osei. If the Congress agrees, can I get it? Now, so this is interesting. I'm not too sure on the income sources. I'm not too sure what the references on loans obtained from Samuel Osei and APSU 84 investment fund. All right. My difficulty is why we capture loan as income. I'm not too sure, so I'll leave it at that. But my worry is, when you look at our income book, if it hadn't been for this receipt, we would have done 25% to budget. All right, and that is worrying. It means that as an organization, our capacity to generate income is a sharp difficulty. And we must, as Congress, really take a hard look at this because income is our oxygen without the income function. So I am very keen on what discussions we will have with ensuring that we are able to deliver income. It also casts doubt on the credibility of the 2018 income numbers, which is around 448,000. If 2017, if you actually deliver 30%, what makes you so confident that in 2018 you'll be able to deliver 400, right? So it has doubt on the credibility of the numbers. So I think we need to have a discussion on that. So that's that. Now, there are also some items that I quickly want to, in the interest of time. When I look at expenditure, so we had a budget of, I think for publicity and advertising, we had a budget of 10,000, but we used 4,300. On the face of it, it's good. I'm happy. However, that signal that we weren't promoting our activities, for which maybe participation and attendance was not as desired. And if that is the case, and management wants to cut costs, I would suggest that, or recommend that it's a small cost item. So maybe in 2018, let's not be penny wise, let's spend money and get participation and attendance in our program. So I guess because I've said so much, I'll leave this as preliminary comments, and maybe I'll come back later with follow ups. Thank you.
We did came under that, and so the adverts we didn't do were meant for general activities, and most of them we try to use electronic platforms or social media platforms, as we call them. The challenge is when you don't have too much money, you try to be a bit more wiser in how you spend it. Then the other issue Kwame raised has to do with the figures. How reasonable the 2018 figures are as against the 2017 income figures. Now we put these figures here because if you look at the details, you realize that recurrent figures are that low, they are not too much. Most of the figures go into the capital expenses, the almanac, which is already published and we are going to sell. And we are counting on as many APSUians as possible. If you divide the 100,000 we are talking about, you realize that we are looking at about 600 copies thereabout. So we are believing that within 1 year we should have 600 people buying the almanac, which will then bring in 100,000. We believe it is doable, and we will make every effort to make it doable. The 31,000 that is there as the auction monies from the auction books. These are monies books people have collected, and they have pledged those figures, and we've spoken with each of them, and we believe that we'll have the money sooner than later. Then the issue of the loan. Maybe before I go to the loan, let me deal with the large figures by the various year groups. We have dealt with the various year groups over time. These monies are huge because they have to do with the purchase of the bus and the truck. We have bought the bus, we have bought the truck. The monies are still outstanding. We are believing that within the next few months we'll be able to. We have dealt with the year groups. We have various assurances that within a few months we'll be able to get portions of that money. And if you look at, maybe let's just quickly, as an example, please. If you look at the active year groups, we are expecting to raise 70,000 seats. But if you go to the income, you will realize that from the year groups, we have only budgeted. We've only budgeted an amount of 40,000, 45,000. And so we have made room. We know year groups that pay. We know the ones that you need to chase before they pay. And we know the ones that are recalcitrant. And so we have factored all this historical data into fixing the figures. For the year groups, for the almanac, the loan we took on the almanac, we brought it under income because it ended up in our account. It will show in our bank balances and all of that. And so we wanted to be a bit more consistent with what the bank, what was showing as income. And so that's that. But if you go to the expenditure side as well, you will realize that we have accounted for it. So it's almost like +1 - 1 kind of thing. And so it shows there. The first question Kwame asked, why not an audited statement? We run a 1st April to 31st March year. And so our account would run out on 31st March. Thereafter, we will audit it. And then hopefully next year, Congress will present an audited statement. We have never done an audited statement because if you realize, those of you who are regular to Congress, realize that our statements keep improving. We used to have 1-page statement, and gradually we are getting a lot more detailed statements. It's a pledge we have made at NEC. Next year we'll have an audited statement covering 2017, which ends March 31st. And so that, I don't know whether I've covered everything. Largely. Thank you so much.
Just to add to what my very able secretary was saying, I'm not an accountant though, but we look at the figures. If you've been coming, really you can see that this is work in progress. And listening to you, you seem to be quite adept on it. So hopefully when we are doing the next ones, you help us to make sure that what we present to Congress will be acceptable to everybody. But everybody can tell that it's an evolution. We've started somewhere. This is where we've reached. We are hoping that we're going to make it better so that people like yourselves can really appreciate what is there. I am confident, looking at what is going on, that whatever monies that we have contracted, we have the capacity to be able to settle it and absolutely fine.
It's not it is us. The problem is the fact that as APSUians, we are not putting our monies where our mouths are. Most of us are not, it's not as if we don't have the capacity to contribute. This business is about the widow's mite business. All of us contribute a little and we're able to do it. But a lot of the year groups are just not funding your union. And if we would have to make this thing happen, and I pledge, I don't know, we need to, Congress needs to, all of us need to think about ways in which we can get APSUians to contribute. Unfortunately, I am singing to the converted. All of you who are sitting here are the people who are contributing. I talk from experience, from my year group, to the extent that some of them who live outside, they even don't think that it is worthy of contribution. But we need to think about how to get all of us to help fund this business. Otherwise, we'll keep on playing second fiddle to people who, when we were in school, they are nobody. If you go to their year groups, they are doing better than we're doing. Just because they seem to be committed to the cause. I don't know why. People would attend this school. There's one of my year group members right now that he looks as if now when he got a better job, he doesn't want to come here. I don't know, they say that's our problem. That most of us are so busy that we don't have time for our service. And I don't know why that should happen. So I think Congress should be thinking about how do we get the rest of us to participate in our event. Well, at Congress, our numbers are less than 120. I keep counting. Now I think I crossed 110. So what are we going to do as Congress to get a lot of us to be committed to this project called APSU, so that we will not see these large variances between the variance between expenditure and also income. It's because income is not coming. If the income was coming, you will find out that a lot of the expenditures we actually will do them, but we're not doing them. A lot of the year groups are not paying their levies on the buses. The trucks, the same thing. So I think that that is the crux of the issue. And I agree with the leadership when they say that it's evolution. And I think we need to commend the team that put, this brochure together. This is the very first time that this has been done, and it's worthy of emulation. We're doing a lot of first things. We're doing a lot of good things. But only a few of us who are doing it. If we can get a lot of us committed to this, we will do audacious things that we are currently doing. So I think that for us as Congress, today we need to brainstorm how to get the rest of us, especially those who can actually contribute to support this cause called APSU. Because otherwise, you look into the brochure, it is the same people who were at last year Congress who are here, apart from a lot of the 93-year group and then 94-year group who, because they are going to be handling the battle next year, are here. But you can see the candidates, senior Zuenis. You can see the people I look around the old men, they are the same people. So I think that for us today, let's brainstorm and think, how do we get others to also be committed to this cause and attend and also contribute their widows' minds, so that together we can build a better union.
Thank you. Any more contributions? Both of the report and the...
And those who they have blood in them, that's 1976. But when we look at 1975 and 74, 73, our group, they are not there. So why so? Why so? even though majority are pensioners. Majority are pensioners. But why so? If you divide the 2,000 into 2, or and let us pay half of whatever levy is there. And some of us will contribute our widow's mite. And what I always say is that when it comes to Congress, we see new faces, we see old faces. Unfortunately, mine 73, I don't see a lot here. 73, I don't see a lot here. But with this free, given to us after registration, given to us free, and having some debt in there, appealing to those who really prepared this marvelous, I would say, 2018 APSU Congress brochure. I think this is the brochure. And let us all do a silver collection, just a portion, either 5 cedi or 10 cedi or 10 Ghana cedi, to just put this one aside, so that we will settle this one immediately and then think about any other activities. Thank you very much.
I don't think I was even born at the time, so can you please? I wasn't. But, Mr. Chairman, just a few points. And this is on the back of Mr. Shish's point. Now, when you look at the receipts for 2018, there are 2 big items in that I want us to take them out, right? Because these are really project linked. So, for instance, college bus levies, right? It is to buy a bus, all right? So every money we collect is to buy a bus. The second is the outline. Once I purchase, it's done. So these 2 items are really transactional. Alright, that will be what we use to run and fund APSU. Alright, so they are large. The 2 of them are in excess of 300,000. We should take them out as extraordinary items. Now let's look at the bread and butter items. That will be on year groups, contributions, and souvenirs. Now, I guess the challenge for us as a Congress is how do we expand the programs, in a way that generates sufficient interest to get people to buy into the notion, right? Because if I take those 2 items out, and what are left are souvenirs and year group contribution, then we might not be able to be generating sustainable income coming in year on year. Because those 2 items is about 100,000. And if next year we don't have a comprehensive program, we will be running out of fuel. So yes, Senior Apostle, I take your point. I think we need to do more. But doing more connected to only dues and souvenir, we only invest 100,000. What else must we be thinking about to give us that the next 400,000 revenue coming in to push up to the levels where we all feel we have the potential to do? So just a quick comment.
Just to contribute to the point on the income. But yes, the question of income, this is something I'm passionate about, and I've had discussions with next president over the years during the period. One possibility is that we should refine our endowment and we mentioned the endowment. If we find a way of generating income through the endowment, I think that will become a sustainable income. If, for example, we find a way of ensuring that our students in high positions in various corporate make promises, or we encourage them to make donations, and they are recognized. If, in addition to that, we partner with entities like NTA and Vodafone and the other and we find a way of sending text messages or the way approved that every month, let's say an amount of 5 Ghana cedis should be deducted from the parents. Every month. Link style and then every month you'll be amazed that for 5 Ghana cedis that is collected across the spectrum of APSU to a member of various telco companies by one subscription. That alone will bring in a sustainable source of income in a way that even the contributor will not be alone. And in addition to that, we have the corporate donations. In addition to that, you find all kinds of other means of putting money in this endowment. I think the way to go is the endowment. It is a response to all the problems that we have. Every year we come and we undertake projects. These projects are contributions, but they're not sustainable. Come 4 or 5 years later and they're dirty or somebody has to really work. But the endowment fund will be sustainable way of moving forward. But after I have the pleasure of the headmaster on the platform, I think we need to strengthen the endowment. We have to remain behind the headmaster. Our schools are doing this. And we can do it. And we will not and should not allow anybody to intimidate our administration. Because we have a common law in this school, and it should not be destroyed by third parties. In some other schools, students are having to bring things. They show up on campus every semester. They come with paper, they come with all kinds of other contributions. Some of the rooms of our properties on campus are simply announced. And we are waiting year in, year out for someone to come and pay them in. And it's not a sustainable way to go. Unfortunately, we face this. And therefore, the corrosive effect of the environment has a huge impact on our properties. And I'm just saying that as we go ahead and contribute and as we look for money to do all those things, including APSU's contribution, counterpart support from PTA, from people whose kids are immediately in school, should also be important. And I'm just saying that I heard last time we have difficulties because we have all kinds of external pressures to put in the GS, don't do this, don't do that. But we have to support, and we have to ensure that some of these things are actually the best interests of society.
With regards to dealing with the GES, we've also realized that if we just leave it to the administration, they're going to be bullied all the time with their system. So as APSUians and including the board, we would have to also deal with the GES before we allow the headmaster or the administration to put anything up. So we're looking at those things. As I said, the endowment fund relaunching and making sure we get proper money, it's crucial. We're going to have to work on that and make sure that we have a proper endowment fund that can help us do things without having to go to people all the time. And quickly to Kwame's issue, if you look at our figures, I did say, really, with our bread and butter coming in, if we're looking at our usual expenditure is around 60,000 cedis. We normally will collect something in excess of 80,000, so we are fine. These numbers are looking huge because of, let's say, the bus and especially the almanac, where we had to borrow money to do that. And once we sell them off, we should be able to take care of our debts and we'll be fine.
Okay, APSUians, those standing at the back, please can you come in? We are having a feedback. If we can all take our seats, since we're talking about what we need to do, we need to get people on board. But I believe at the Congress, what we want is, in addition to a few ideas that have come, we invite suggestions for other ideas so that we can actually move APSU forward.
Late last year, that APSU 84 actually took up the challenge of using mobile money to do collections, their bills, investment cloud collections. So I want to know from national, what have you done so far with this mobile money? Because I think it's the best way forward when it comes to collecting levels and stuff like that. Thank you.
To answer that question, on our last next meeting, we invited the gentleman with the technology, the team, who came in.
My
still on this issue of the houses, I think that we need to take some drastic steps regarding the houses. They are in such deplorable state, year in, year out. It's a serious embarrassment. I know of colleagues who have made the mistake of marching into these houses with their spouses and children and have come out well because their spouses tell them, no, you can't let our boy come to this school with this kind of situation. Mr. Chair, I want to give a counter proposal regarding, I think the last one, regarding what the last one speaker said. I think the easiest way of going around our houses problem is to deal with them just like we deal with the year-round issues. Each and every one of us pass through a house. Unlike the year-round system, where you have about 200 people representing a particular year group, so many people have passed through all the houses over the years. If we want to tabulate the number of people who have passed through each and every house, we are going to have hundreds, if not thousands. So if we can identify particular people to be conveners for particular houses, and they can run members of those houses to make contributions, no matter how small, I believe that every year that should make a difference. I was in John's house. We tried to have a joint collaboration with Joseph's house in recent times. We have a platform, John's Joseph's. It's not been easy. For the past year, we've tried to raise the money, but I believe that that is the right direction for us. If Tony Jose was in St. Stephen's house, Francis Ofer was in St. Stephen's house, name them. Peter Swenis in John's, Isuman in John's, Akweko in George's, Ahinsa in George's, Akolache in George's. You can identify hundreds and thousands of people from each particular house. So I think that that is where our concentration should come from, and I think we'll be making some headway with that problem. Thank you.
My name is David Tese, APSU 94, and I'm guilty of some of the comments in the opposite part because this is my first Congress, and of course, because I'm guilty, it will continue. I'll be here forever. There are a lot of problems identified, and a lot of frustrations amongst APSUians. We have problems with houses, and there are so many other challenges that we see across the school. For me, there's one solution, and let me reiterate what Kofi Apochi said. It's either we centralize the solution or we decentralize it. Decentralized solutions have come up, dividing APSU into 10-year groups or dividing it into house groups with a convener. But I think the ultimate solution is to centralize it, which is the endowment fund. All the things we are speaking about, mobilizing through mobile money, trying other channels of collections, where is it going to and what is the rallying point? I feel that the rallying point should be the endowment fund. If you have one central fund which is collected consistently and invested consistently, we will be able to face the myriad of issues that we face. If individual year groups and individual houses continue with this policy, that's fine. But we must have a central solution to the general problems that we face. Otherwise, we continue to attack it piecemeal. So I encourage the NEC to prioritize the endowment fund. I know you have started it, but please try and prioritize this because it's the central solution to the many problems and many frustrations that we all face. I think if everybody is contributing through various channels to one central fund and it is managed properly with proper rules as to how allocations will be done and to what problems, that will be fine. But to quickly add to that, when people are contributing, they sometimes expect a return. What are some of the things put in place for some of the APSUians to bring their awards here? I have seen a lot of frustrations from people who say we won't contribute because we can't get our awards to come here. So at the very high level, the advocacy and the lobbying must continue. Whether it is a return of the mission schools or whether it is some set allocation that will be given to old boys, it will help the rallying call towards contributing to the endowment. So my 2 cents. Thank you very much.
I'm Piromi, APSU 91. I've just probably seen a small problem of the Ghanaian big problem. all we do is find a few people to blame and taking all the mantle to them and say, fix this, fix that, fix that. Assuming we had a committee of architects, how many architects has APSU like churned out? Administrators, accountants, auditors, all that. Can't we just find a way of putting those groups together, like Senior Sweni said, for example, St. Stephen's House, fix it. They probably raised $100 million. They finished raising it to 6 floors. St. John's have got probably guys who didn't do anything, so we borrowed them some money to fix it. Why can't we just stop finding a few group of people to just blame that they are doing just little? Why can't we do it all together and find every year group, for example, be proud of putting in your little penny, like our senior just said over there, let's clear the almanac, for example. Let's clear checks, let's clear every little thing and just move on. I went to one of the classrooms. I sat on one of the desks 27 years ago. It's still there because probably it's good wood. Can't we improve it? The only thing we can improve those classes are maybe not blackboards anymore, but why can't we move beyond us just coming to Congress with a few people? Why can't we move and say, okay, maybe we had a problem here, find a way around? I don't know whether it's only me, but I'm just tired of hearing that little Ghanaian problem. Complaining, and always not finding the solution to the problem. It's like we always identify problems. If it's not solved by a nation or a community like Absunians, it's about our feeding, it's about our chairs, it's about everything, and we have a list of them but never solve it. I just can't understand that little bit we have as a Ghanaian community.
Absolutely. Don't get too frustrated. There are only a few doctors here.
Apart from the sustainable source of funding that I'm happy we brought as ideas, I remember my year group at the last night meeting has suggested that we also need to put together a team that can do maintenance, so that if we